What's up, everyone? My name is Alice, and if the camera wants to focus, that would be lovely. But today I want to talk about a very serious topic. And it is something that really affects my channel as well, and that is that I'm chronically ill. Um, it is really, really weird to say, and I really hope, I can just keep a little bit quiet while I talk about it, or otherwise you have a really happy bird background noise to distract you from all the seriousness. But yeah, I am chronically ill. And that is also the reason why I'm always tired and just have issues in general. And I wish I could find like the paperwork. Um, no, wait. I should have prepped this better. But yeah, okay. Let's just get started from the beginning. I have like my medical notes right here, like the older ones. I can find the new ones real quick, but I kind of know them like from my mind. My story started actually when I was born. Um, Safe to say, I was born early, not like a pre time. Like I was right at the time, like okay, you could be born. So I wasn't like everything should be done. It was just a little bit more growth, but it was like maybe 1 week till till my mother's date of me. But since my immune system is a little bit different than my mother's, I started to make my mother like very, very ill. Like her blood pressure was too high, like on the higher end, and too low on the low end. You have the upper pressure and the lower pressure. The upper pressure was way too high, and the lower pressure was way too low, so to say. So that made her really, really sick. And I made her so nauseous that she couldn't eat for like 2 weeks. Like the past 2 weeks, it was just terrible. And the doc just kept telling her like, okay, manage, just try to hold on till this date, because then we're going to give you a C-section. And it was an emergency C-section, because if I stayed in the womb a little bit longer, then my mother could have died. Like the risk was really, really high. So that is actually how I was born. It was already risky. Thanks for the screech, But yeah, I was born like a little Asian, so to say, like the stereotypical Asian. I had yellow skin, thick black hair. Yes, black. It was as black as ink. And I just didn't look healthy. I was a bit skinny, I was a bit tiny, and something was wrong. Like they didn't know. So all the nurses and the doctors, they wanted to keep me longer in the hospital. But eventually it took so long that my mother was like, no, 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 no. If something was really wrong, it would have showed by now. And then my mom got stubborn, checked herself out, and started doing daily walks with me. So just to get her moving again, just to get herself moving, and to give me actual sunlight instead of the lights they were giving me. This is all what my mom told me. Obviously, I don't have any memory of it. And I improved. When my mom did what she thought was right, I actually improved. And I seemed to grow normally and healthy. And that was pretty good. Like from 1 year old till 11, I was a normal kid. Basically, like physically, I was a normal kid. Emotionally, it's a different story. And if you guys want to know that, then I'm going to do a complete Draw My Life. Because that's a video I always wanted to make, but I'm too small to do that. And I want to do that as an achievement, basically. But yeah, then I was 11. And that was when all the real trouble began. I started getting more tired, my joints started to hurt, but I decided to ignore it. I thought, with a little nap, I can just be normal again. Doesn't matter, I just nap for 30 minutes and I'm a normal kid again. And that's what I thought. And I've always been really, really active, and this was also in the time that I was getting scouted for some athletic teams. So yeah, I started to train and do more and more and more and more and more. And yeah, I was also getting tired and my joints started to hurt more and more. But eventually I got to the point where I was training for 24 to 36 hours in a week. That is a disgusting amount. That is not healthy at all. So I went to the rheumatologist. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, and that was in 2012. So yeah, but by this time, this is what the doc wrote. The past years, there was obvious signs of pain, especially in the knees and the elbows. No warmth could be found, no redness, no swelling, but the pain persisted through rest, as in moving, and just being really stiff in the morning. Lower back pain that didn't subdue. It's really hard to read Dutch and speak English, so bear with me. I was having Zika problems. So Zika problems basically means dry eyes, dry mouth. Everything that is supposed to be like fluid, it has like a lack of it. But yeah, and I had the rainout phenomenon. That's the kind of like the red-white thing in your hands, but that was actually just normal. So yeah, especially my left eye was really, really dry. I had really warm, like nearly scorching hot hands and feet. But I have the hot-cold hands, basically. It's either really hot or really, really cold. So yeah, this doctor made a mistake, and that is something that we know now. She says that I have a Beighton score of 4 out of 9. If you don't know what a Beighton score is like the hypermobility, like how far can you stretch your fingers. This one is the one that I barely can't, and this one is the thing that I can't. But how far can you overstretch your elbow? How far can you overstretch your knees? Can you touch the ground? Things like that. And she only thought I could do the elbow and the knees thing, but I also have it in my fingers and my shoulders. So she really forgot about that. So she said, yeah, like the problems you have, it is because of something called fibromyalgia. And I didn't agree. I was really, really mad about that diagnosis. But then she also said, like, hey, I know it's not 100% correct, but I need to give you something to get you into the medical system, so you can get extra like research and help. So I'm just going to give you this diagnosis to help you get through, or just get in the medical system and get extra support from the government. And then I was like, okay. But yeah, it's just, I just went on and on with it for a couple of years and just got really sad and mad about it, because it was like, yeah, but it isn't right, but they can't find anything. I went to the cardiologist because of tiredness and just sometimes a feeling of heart palpitations and just general pain on the chest. But they said, like, even because I was exercising so much, but I got to the point where I couldn't like run away from the pain and the tiredness anymore, because exercising actually made me forget, especially swimming and horseback riding. Those two really helped me ignore all the issues that I had. But I got to the point where I couldn't run from all the issues anymore. I was tired all the time. I couldn't get out of bed. I was a mess. I was really, really a mess. But yeah, just that was the point where I went to all the doctors and like neurologists and cardiologists and internal medicine, and they were all like, no, 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 you're healthy, you're healthy. So my general practitioner, she is a lovely lady. She really tried everything she could for me. She was like, okay, go to rehab, go to physical rehabilitation. That was last summer. Next summer is coming up, but that was last summer. They were like, oh, wait a second, that doctor in 2012, she's wrong. She's really, really wrong. You do have hypermobility syndrome. And what hypermobility syndrome basically means, it basically says that I am too flexible. My joints are too flexible for what it should be. Like, everybody has a different length of tendon, and that makes them as flexible as they are. But some people, they are just stretched. This is kind of the small explanation that they gave me. Like, of course, some people can be really flexible and it's natural for them, but that is just the length of the tendon they were given. For me, the tendon is always like either too loose or too stretched. Basically, it is really hard to explain all the anatomy about it. But basically, all my tendons and my muscles are always working to keep the joints in place. As you guys know, I recently semi-dislocated my elbow. It was basically on the joint. Basically, you have outside the joint, in the joint, but you have also the little cap where it's supposed to be in. And it was in between, basically. But because the tendons are not the size or not at the tension they should be, I can dislocate more easily. And so I have to look out for that all the time. So I have to make sure I keep my back straight, my elbows, I shouldn't overstretch them like I normally do. This is normal, this is stretched. But yeah, I shouldn't do that often. I already did it like 3 times this video, and that's really bad. But because I have to control my muscles so often and just have to pay attention to that, it's exhausting. And yeah, it's just really painful to feel all your joints just wiggle in place. It's it just doesn't feel right. It isn't right, and it is really exhausting. So to support the extra things, they also gave me chronic tiredness syndrome. Just to say like, hey, she really is always tired, and even what we did or how we try to help her, we can't really fix it. So yeah, that is the reason why I'm basically always tired and why I am always in pain. But there is another smaller thing that doesn't really help me as well, and that is I have a near herniated disc. So you know you have your spine and there are discs in between. When a disc is herniated, it means it also touches the what's it called again? The nerve. I forgot the word. I'm sorry. So the disc will touch the nerve and it will give a constant pain signal to either the left leg or the right leg. Really depends on what and where it is touching. But mine is semi-herniated. That means it isn't really touching the nerve all the time, but when I move, it kind of goes, it taps it. So it touches it and then I can go like, ugh. But yeah, that is also really, really painful, and every pain strike is also really exhausting. So yeah, that is a small bit of my medical history. These are the important bits for you guys to explain why I'm not always as enthusiastic or get tired easily with the streams, or just am too tired to record anything. Yeah, that's basically it. I know it's a very long and very vague story, and thank you for listening for nearly 17 minutes. But yeah, this is just the physical story of what is physically going on, and that is the thing that I only want to share for now. What happened to me, like psychological through the years, then I'll have to do a Draw My Life, and that will be at some subscriber milestone. I will explain it. I do want to explain it, but not now. It just doesn't feel right to just dump all my trash onto you guys. And I don't want to be seen as the sobbing ill girl. I just want to be seen as a normal person, because basically I am. I'm just a normal person with some issues, but yeah, I just want to be a regular YouTuber. I just want to be a regular designer, because next year I am going to do communication and multimedia design. So user experience, user interface, web design, stuff like that, and also video editing. Yes, I'm getting taught how to edit, so my videos will improve as well. And yeah, that is actually a way better fit than nursing, because some of you guys know that I quit nursing. Some even didn't know that I studied nursing. But yeah, I also had to quit nursing because of these chronic issues. But blah, 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 I'm getting distracted already. I just want to wrap this video up. I really hope you guys understood my ramble, my explanation. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, and then I'll mix them up with the burp questions over there, because he's sitting on the lamp there. Then I'll just do the whole Q&A thing and answer everything. So yeah, I really hope you guys kind of enjoyed it. You can always help me out by zapping that like button. And then I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!